The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are the speaker's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the community. The material and information presented on this podcast is for general information purposes only, and any reliance on the information provided on this podcast is done at your own risk. Hello out there, and welcome to another episode of the Apology Accepted podcast. So this week, I want to start off by saying how much I just appreciate my journey to healing. And if you have never experienced true healing, my suggestion to you would be to find a good, starting point. Because this journey has truly been a blessing. And it is something that is unimaginable to someone such as myself who have been in this negative mindset for years prior to starting this journey. And so, not sure if you guys remember, or even if I have some new listeners who didn't even catch the first season, where I continuously stated my healing journey started in 2020. And when I say that, I mean healing for real, true healing, not what I was doing prior to, which was just, saying the words, oh yeah, this is my healing season and I'm doing this, that, and the third. But really, the behaviors and the efforts did not match what I was saying out of my mouth. And so 2020, I definitely took a different route into my healing. And with doing that, I had to face some things, and I had to come to realization with some things. It was some hard truths that was front and center. But instead of masking those things, I had to deal with them. And it was hard. It was definitely, it was hard. It was some things I didn't want to, confront or talk about or even just remember, because I did a lot of masking and pushing things down and, out of sight, out of mind. And so a lot of things did not exist, or at least in my mind, they didn't exist. But really, it was still, even though it wasn't in existence on the forefront, it was still holding me hostage in some of the things that I wanted to do in life. And so I had to confront those things. And I know I always say this, my last therapist, Mr. David, I will always remember him. He was definitely great. And believe it or not, I went through a few therapists because I couldn't find one that worked for me prior to David. And so imagine my disappointment for my own selfish reasons when he took another job opportunity in another state. And so I was so upset. But I was proud, I guess, for him. But I was so upset for my own selfish reasons. But he was therapist number, 10. And so I have not found another one yet, to be honest. But nevertheless, I did have to deal with some things, and he was able to help me bring some things kind of to the forefront so I can deal with them and then let it go. See, I was masking stuff and not dealing with it, and it was just, swept under the rug. You know that saying, sweep everything under the rug. So more or less, it was more swept under the rug and less identifying and working out the problem. And to this day, I did not think that it would work the way it has worked for me. So I am saying this out loud to you guys. If you have something that you have masked for so long, in other words, swept under the rug, and it's more like, oh, well, I don't have to deal with it. If you have not confronted that issue or at least tried to work out for a better understanding, then it will always hold a space, either in your heart or in your mind, but somewhere inside of you, that situation will hold a space. And that's what I had to do. I had to evict, basically, all of the things that I was dealing with that I swept under the rug. And this new process and this new healing journey that I've been on for the past, going 4 years, it's been tough. And this is how I know that is real, because healing, true healing, is hard. Like, I realized looking back all those times where I was like, I'm fine because I'm healed from that and I'm good. I was totally crazy. Because it didn't take nothing for me to be like, oh, I ain't dealing no more, under the rug it go. It did not take no effort. But my journey now with healing, oh my gosh, it is taking everything. Like, it is hard. It is definitely a hard place, but the reward that I am experiencing, it's priceless. Totally priceless. My reward on this healing journey, for real. And on this journey, I've been able to meet and connect with so many amazing people. People that, if this was 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I probably wouldn't even think I could be in the same room with them to hold any type of conversation. And today, I stand in these rooms, or I am amongst these people, and it is just a wonderful connection. Not sure if you guys caught last week's episode, which I had Leslie White, aka Les. She was on my episode last week, and I wanted to capture her because she was one of the ladies that I was able to connect with and meet and just have wonderful experience and learn so much. I learned a lot from this young lady, and to watch her in different spaces and to watch her flourish in some of her business goals and personal goals and things that she has going on, I wanted to speak to her and have her on the podcast because she does a lot, and she wears a lot of hats, and she's, even with her lessons, not failures, but even with her business lessons, it didn't stop her from doing business again. And so hearing her story, hearing how she felt about these lessons of failures, what made her be able to continue in the form that she is. It was great tips that she gave. And if you didn't catch last week's episode, go back and catch last week's episode. You can definitely chime in through Anchor, but you can also chime in through YouTube, where you can kind of see us. But knowing that it's so many women out here who, when we get dressed up, we look really good. Like, hey, we look good. We make sure we look good. But never knowing what we dealing with on the inside. And church service this past Sunday, my pastor was like, what did he say? He said what did he say? A beautiful mess. No. Social success, but an inside mess. Or something like that. It was something to those words. And when I say, I was like, ooh, because so many times we dress up and we mask really well. So those who we are coming in contact with, we don't try to show what we're going through, right? You hear that saying, I'm glad I don't look like what I've been through. And that's because we mask so well that most times people can't even tell. And so I thought about that thing. And one thing I realized with me, I do not want to put on so much that I am hiding so much where now I'm not authentic to myself. Because the whole dress-up process is not for myself. It's for others, so they don't see the real me. And when I tell you guys, I sat and I think I wrote that down at least 30 times, what my pastor said. And then I was like, I just want to be my authentic self. So I want to look good in whatever I put on. If I'm just wearing a sundress with no earrings, I still want to look the bomb. If I want to put on some flats instead of heels, I still want to look the bomb. Why? Because I just want to be in step in my authentic self. I don't want to do a whole lot. I don't want to put on so much that now I have hidden from myself just so I can look like I'm all the way together for other people. And that's what we do. We do it so often. We do it so many times. It's very few ladies that I've spoken with that actually have said they put on makeup just because that's what they like to do. Very few. I've had so many women say why they sit and it take like an extra 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes to do a whole face because it's something that they don't want seen, whether it's pimples, bumps, acne, a scar, two-toned. Some people have those that like blemish in the skin. Like it's something that they want to hide. And they want their face to look as smooth as possible, but yet not show all that other stuff that to them make them not look either beautiful or appropriate or whatever the case may be. And so one young lady, she has a birthmark all around her eye, and it's a really dark mark around her eye, and it comes like down like mid, right at her nose, right before you get to her upper lip. And she said it takes her at least 30 minutes to do her makeup every morning. So she has adjusted her wake up and morning routine to her having to do her face every morning. But when she was talking, she was a speaker at an event I attended, and she had on makeup, so we had no clue to what she was talking about. And so the host that actually gave the event, she asked, she was like, so do you have any pictures, or is there a time where you don't have on makeup? And she was like, there is not a time that I don't have on makeup where I'm in public. She was like, now when I'm at home, I don't have on makeup. She was like, I don't taking selfies. Yes, I do, but that's after I've done my makeup. And so she was like, but you know what? I'm feeling okay today. And so everybody was like, started clapping like, I'm glad she's feeling okay today, da da da. And don't you know, this young lady went and washed her face, like she washed all the makeup off her face, and she came back out. And she was like, hold on, y'all, she said, I gotta at least get some lip gloss. And so she went and put some lip gloss on. But her face was clear. She had no makeup on. And everybody stood up and applauded her, because I know that took a lot for her. That, that's one of the things that she was saying, her insecurities with her birthmark and things like that. And the love that she received within that room was amazing. And she said it out loud that she felt really good. And she didn't feel afraid in the space that she was in to wash that makeup off her face and allow us to see her. And one thing the host did that I truly just applaud was she gave her a hug. And I mean, that hug lasted at least a minute. And they were talking. But that hug lasted. And then the host said, thank you, first and foremost, for allowing us to see the authentic you. It was no nothing. This is you. This is your face. And the fact that she is a beautiful queen. Like, this young lady is beautiful. And, healing, which she's going to have to do. And it's going to hurt, and it's going to be some hard days. And she said it. But I know for me, with me healing for real, and I always do that quote, for real, has definitely allowed me in spaces and amongst individuals that I never thought I would be amongst. And so for that, hands down, I am truly grateful. I enjoy listening to other women and their success, their ideas, things that they want to do, things that they want to accomplish, like their goals. It makes me truly excited for them, and not just for them, but for myself, not just for them and myself, but for my daughters. Like, women are really stepping in to their selves, their feminine selves, and accomplishing goals, whether they're personal or professional, and so understanding that we all have a story. Everyone has a history. Understanding that it is okay if you can talk about that history, because that is your continuance of healing. And that's another thing that I learned. Healing is not something that is like, oh, I'm healing today, I'm healed by tomorrow, and I'm great for the rest of my life. No, healing is something that is required. Well, for me, okay, I'm only talking about myself. For me, healing is something that I have to make sure I keep in front of me. I'm intentional about it. And every day that God gives me the opportunity to see, I take my healing very seriously, because it is a process that is with me every day. Every day I am getting through something. I am accomplishing something. I am healing from something every day. And I have to keep that in front of me so I don't forget how far I've come in this journey. It is definitely recommended it was recommended for me to understand that the things that I went through prepared me for who I am today. I just had to identify who I was. And that was the thing. I could not identify who I was because all of my life I had to be or do what someone told me. Whether it's from a kid, even as a young adult, really not understanding who I am as an individual, but more so who people needed me to be. So I just conformed to who people needed me to be. And that took over my life. And now my identity was kind of blur because I always just stood in what other people wanted me to. And with that, made a lot of mistakes. But understanding today and knowing who I am when I stand, who I am when I speak, and the person that I am is who I've chose to be. This is me, my authentic self, and who I chose to be. And so sitting in a room with other young ladies who their dreams are big, their careers are big, their passions are big, some of their pockets are big. Like, I am inspired by these individuals because they have big personalities, and I have so much to learn still. Even though I'm of age, I'm grown, but I still have so much to learn, and being around other young ladies helps me learn. And that's why I do these interviews, and I bring ladies on because I want to hear from them. I want to hear what they have going on. I want to hear some of their failures. I want to hear the struggles. I want to hear how they overcame, because that's what helps us. Not only will it help me, but I know it will help someone listening, because we all go through something. Every single one of us went through something this week, last week, today, within the hour. And so, in my opinion, the more and more we come together and talk about some of these things and how we got through them, especially our failures, the more and more we learn, the more and more we help each other. Because I only want to surround myself with those who are willing to say, you know what, girl, I went through that same thing. Let me tell you what I did. Let me tell you what helped me. Because what helped them, the exact, may not help me or may not help someone else. However, partial could. Just listening to how someone overcame something could trigger a thought where, oh, well, I might can't do it exactly like that, but I can do it like this. And that goes with everything. That goes with everything. I just think, and like me and Les talked about it, because we worked together before in an organization that she had started. And she brought it up that she said she thought it was a failure, which I didn't. So we had a difference of opinion, right? And so I didn't think it was a failure. I just think the way the process was didn't really work for everybody. And that's the difference. And so the lesson learned was, or is, in my opinion, identifying the process that works. Those who stay are those who want to be. Those who don't stay, it is not for them. And that's okay. If someone don't stay, don't make it a failure. It just means it's not for them. And it's just very simple. And so being able to, again, talk about these things out loud will help so many individuals. Hands down. You know, we listen to other podcasts. I know I listen to Sarah Jakes. I listen to Michelle Obama. I listen to Tiny Harris because I listen to my soul sisters, and I also listen to my ratchet sisters that bring me back down to reality sometimes and be like, girl, But that balance, that the difference in answers that you get, being able to be like, now I took a little piece here from Michelle. I'm going to take a little piece over here from Tiny. I'm even going to grab a little bit from Toya, because I love her too. Her accent is so deep, Lord, that New Orleans. I'm going to take a little bit from her, because this is what's going to work for me. And it helps. We listen to these people because it helps. It's relatable. Most of their stories are relatable to either what we are going through or dealing with, or someone close to us going through or dealing with. We definitely can relate. And that's why we listen. And some of us listen for pure entertainment. But it has not been a time where I've listened to one of these individuals, my Sarah, my Michelle, my Toyas, or my Tiny, and not taken something that they said and used it in my own personal life. And so that's the goal for me. You may not agree with everything that I say, and that's fine. My apology I already accepted. I've accepted my own apology, okay? This is not the perfect podcast. This is my journey. So you may not agree with everything I say, but my hope is that you can take something and use it to better your situation, your thought process, whatever. Take something. If you can't take everything, take something. I want y'all to hold on to that. take something. Until I come voice the mic again, you guys be great.